it's good that you already talked about Tállya, because you can tell it a little bit more probably, but in my memory, it's more on the western side of Tokaj, right?
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about maybe Tokaj in general, because also
Yes,
that's also my first Tokaj podcast, and also maybe
okay,
Tállya
great.
is
Yeah, so Tokaj is a northeast part of Hungary, and it's a volcanic wine region. Maybe I think this is the most famous wine region in Hungary. So usually everywhere I go, everybody knows the Tokaj name, and because of the sweet wine. So Tokaj was the first very famous wine of Hungary in the past, so a long time ago. So yeah, it's a volcanic wine region, and Tállya is one of the most important village there, and it's a small village, so 2,000 people live there, and can I say? Yes, so I can speak about the bedrock, for example. It's a bit different than in other part of Tokaj, because usually the main bedrock type is the rhyolite in Tokaj. So this is a volcanic bedrock, and Tállya has lots of andesite. So this is the reason why it is a bit different, and usually the wine acidic structure different because of the andesite. Also, some of my plots has a little loss. It's usual in the Tokaj mountain and around the Tokaj mountain, but not in other part of Tokaj. So it's also a bit special that Tállya has a little loess soil. Yeah, and Tokaj is sorry if you have a question.
Yeah, just some question maybe that you mentioned andesite and rhyolite. So what is maybe the differences in terms of, you already mentioned acidity, but then probably the pH of the bedrock is different, or actually the humus layer is probably also differing. But how does it really affect your wine viticulture?
For me, Tállya has a more straight acidic structure, so it's very deep, but not too hard, not too robust, not too it's for me it's more straight and fine, and the drip structure than for example mad is more hard, and it's a bit different.
And why is that?
I think one of the reasons is andesite, and also the soil. So mad has more hard soil types, more rocky soil there. Tállya usually has a finer soil structure, so maybe the water can fill the soil more. What's this word?
So it's not so harsh, you mean, that it's not so rocky, maybe a bit more decomposed sand, or maybe less,
yes,
more weathered soil. And that's also maybe then it has just to imagine in my mouth, because I don't have the great fortune to drink your wine. I drank some tea, but I try to imagine that it has maybe a slightly broader mouth, so maybe in terms of acidity it's also lower, or maybe just the feeling.
Not lower, but the structure is different, so maybe more long and more balanced. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it also the microclimate is also different than, for example, in mud? because it's not far from each
Yeah.
other, right? But
yes, it's a bit different. Med is more there's the humidity is a bit higher there because Med is closer to the river, and this is the reason why Med has more botrytis every year. And Tállya is a bit more so yes, there are less humidity and maybe a bit more drought. So yes.
Maybe a bit less rain also, or
yes. Usually Mad gets more rain.
Okay.
Not this year, but this year was a bit rainy.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean the last year, yeah, it was a bit rainy. We had sometimes we had a hard time during this summer making the green works and everything in the vineyards.
Well, we can talk about that later, but if it has some questions about maybe the soil and the Tokaj, maybe because Tokaj is kind of like a boot kind of form, right? So it has like kind of
it's like a triangle. It's like a triangle. So with three mountain, every edge of the triangle. And yes, Tállya is the western part of the Tokaj wine region, western and a bit more south part of the region. Yes, it's the other part. So I think
And on the more eastern side, and maybe that's more northerly, probably, right? So which is the other end? How is it a big difference there, or is it? I mean, climate-wise.
Yeah. Yes. The northern part is a bit colder, and it has an effect on the wines there. These wines, maybe yes. How can I describe them? So if I compare the northern part and the more the south and the western part, the wines from Tállya, from Med, it's all about acidity and the volcanic soil and the saltiness and the structure. Tokaj and the Tartar region, there's lots of loess. It's more elegant, more fruity, flowery style, and the northern part is a bit maybe cold. The wine is also colder. It is a colder. Yes. The acid is not too harsh, but the feeling, the feeling of the wine is more harsh. Yes.
Okay. And maybe we could talk about also your specific sites, because I did a little research, to be honest, on your website. It's a very great website. I can encourage every listener to.
It's brand new.
Yeah, it's
happy. I'm so happy. It's finally already. Yeah.
It's a great design. Also the maps, because there you can see Tállya kind of in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And there you can, do I guess it right that you also have done north of Tállya, you have southern exposure, and you have some plots south of Tállya, you have northern or kind of northeast exposures?